Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Newhart with Science Based Body, and this is the Economic Fitness Podcast channel. On this channel, we are going to provide you with ways to keep your body and mind in top peak physical condition in an environment of sedentary work environments. It is our perspective that blood flow is equal to cash flow, and if you cut off the blood flow, you cut off the cash flow. We hope you enjoy our information. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me on the Economic Fitness Podcast. I have a great guest today. He is the CEO of Ag Resource Management here in downtown. He has been in the business world for 30 years. And from what I just see physically, he's just in phenomenal shape. He takes care of himself. I love that. Everybody knows that. I love that when people take care of themselves. And he's also taking care of his employees. And that is a big thing for me. You know, I can't really speak to that because I live in a world where trainers just get to exercise when they come to work, so that's nice for them. But in a work environment, for an environment where people either stand at a computer or sit at a computer all day, it's really nice to know that someone is out there trying to make a difference in that. And
Absolutely.
So I would like to introduce John Hoffman. John, thanks for joining me today on the show. I appreciate it. It's actually been great getting to know you in the past month or so, and thanks for your friendship and thanks for your time today.
Yeah, Steve, thank you. And it was great to get the referral from one of our employees to Vigor, and to come by here and see what you guys have done. First, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to not just the alliance we have, but what we're going to be able to do for all our employees and just the general side of fitness and what we'll talk about here in a little bit, that wheel of life.
That wheel of life.
Yeah.
And so you just signed up your whole company for this corporate partnership, and I love seeing that because they all now have access to the club.
Right.
And it's just, I talk to many businesses, John, and sometimes I get a no or this. Why do you think you're so quick to do it for your people? Why do you think there's a little bit of a disconnect there?
I think maybe because you got to be a product of the product. I think sometimes.
Yes.
And I think that maybe is where the disconnect, which is really kind of sad. Because, I just know for me as an example, for the last 30 years, if not longer, I played college basketball.
Okay.
For me to be able to get that lunch break, to be able to come in and get 45 minutes, whether it's cardio, whether it's just weights or, just stretching, yoga, anything, I know that my energy for the remainder of that day and sometimes into the evening is spot on. I got clarity of thought. I feel good, energy strong. In the days that I don't work out or don't get some of that time, they can be pretty sluggish.
And I think the other day we were chatting, or just maybe it was even in passing, and you're noticing the same thing in your employees now.
Absolutely.
They're getting recharged.
Right.
And so to me, and I'm the same way. So but if I came on here by myself and I was like, oh, guess what I feel? It's just one guy, but everybody that seems to do this and has some high level job, some high skill job, it enhances that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we're seeing is increased productivity. And then for people that own the businesses, maybe just if they understood that the productivity increases, and it's obviously the businesses is not all about money, but if they knew that their bottom line would increase by giving their employees that time away, I don't know.
Well, let's look. Your greatest investment is human capital.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. And really, if you're building a true culture, and I've always believed culture will trump strategy. Mm-hmm. And if you're building that culture, you want to make your investment in that asset, your human capital.
Of course.
And so let's just speak business terms. ROI, your return on investment, is definitely going to increase. And just think of it from this perspective. How do most people feel after they eat, whether it's dinner at night or lunch in the afternoon?
I'm going to say sluggish, but...
Absolutely. Sluggish.
Yeah.
I want to take a nap,
yeah.
Because most people aren't as focused maybe on their nutrition or what they feed them. And so, if you can kind of substitute that with decent nutrition, what you're feeding yourself, and the fact that you can go and get some exercise, the return on investment's huge.
Yeah.
Whether it's an office manager or, your HR department or your, president of lending.
Tell me what you think about this, because this is just theory that I've thrown out, okay? But I imagine that the amount that is spent on the gym membership compares nothing to how the business will increase in all areas.
People are spending more for Netflix. I mean,
I know.
people are spending more for
yes.
Starbucks. I mean, $4 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so
I'm with you on that.
Right.
And then what about healthcare? You know, a long time ago, when I stepped into this club in 2008, my GM, he would always talk to businesses about healthcare savings. I believe that's real. You know, if the company is putting out all this money on healthcare, and then you have people who are maybe sickly from not eating right or not exercising, and then you engage them with this thing that costs less than the Starbucks, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, there's no more sickness. When I had calculated it out, it was $2,000 per employee would be saved per year. And in a business with 30 employees, you can just do the math on that, the savings.
Yeah. And I mean, we're sitting at about 150 employees, and you're, I mean, spot on.
Yeah.
You know, because healthcare costs just continue to be astronomical.
Yes.
You know, I mean, another thing that just happened, Steve, is I had a conversation with our president of lending. Now, he's 58. We have an exit strategy with the company in the next 3 to 4 years.
Sure.
And we were just kind of dreaming. And he's like, you know, and his comments were, health provided, you know, provided my health stays strong with my wife, we'd like to travel the world. And I'm looking at him, and he's a great guy, but he could definitely take advantage, or needs to take advantage of something like this, because if you want to travel the world,
That's right.
at 65, at 70, at 75, at 80, you can certainly do it, you know, but the little things will always add up to the big things, you know, so it's just not insurance, it's just general health, or health in general,
of course.
You know, so anyhow.
And that's getting into the spectrum of longevity even, you know,
Right.
Work bleeds into longevity, bleeds into having a great family environment. I mean, all of it kind of bleeds out. And I think that this may be a great time to actually talk about your wheel of life that you implemented. Now, this was your brain baby, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the wheel of life. So I would love to just hear about it. Tell me about it. Tell me the components.
Well, actually, I don't want to take full credit, but you know, my wife is a very healthy entrepreneur and business owner, and she actually wrote a book, Success Habits That Work.
Oh, wow.
And we can talk about habits, but on this wheel of life, what we put together was what looks like a wheel, and yet, you know, you're able to measure relationships on one spoke, family on another spoke, physical on another spoke, business, financial, spiritual, mental, and lifestyle.
Sure.
Now, you can put a couple other things in there, charitable giving, you know, what am I doing in my community? So you can kind of add to it. But the whole idea, if we were to take myself as a CEO, or maybe most CEOs, their wheel of life is probably way out of balance.
Yeah.
They're probably going to look at you and go, yeah, I've got 80 hours a week on the job. All right. Well, really long term, what's that going to do for you? You know, what's that going to do for your relationship with your wife?
Right.
What's that going to do for your relationship with your kids? What does your nutrition and health look like? You know, and so there's a diminishing return on that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, and so I just think this is good, and we've instituted this in our company, and I want everybody in our company to know I'm more interested in you as a person than what you do on the job. Your performance is critical, but, you know, if it's a guy, do you have a date night once a week with your wife?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and a lot of guys are like, once I got married, I kind of stopped dating. That's not healthy. That's not good.
No.
You know, so where are you with family? There's a statistic that it was quite a while ago that a father spends an average of 1 minute in direct eye-to-eye contact with his children.
1 minute per
child, just in time.
ever.
This is a day. 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh my God.
One minute a day.
I can see. I got crazy because I couldn't imagine that.
No.
I love my children. They're like the best thing ever.
I've got 3 girls, you know, and you know, that's a legacy I leave.
Sure. Yes.
How am I going to look at that? So, you know, meaningful relationships, you know, are critical.
Yeah.
Physical. So this kind of lends into some of the things we're talking about. Physical is going to affect how I am with my family and my relationships. Physical is going to affect how I am in business. Physical is going to affect really what I can do financially, but it's going to affect my mental status and it's going to affect my lifestyle. Yeah. So if you look at the rest of the spokes, we've got physical, business, financial, spiritual, mental, and lifestyle. You know, and so if you're to chart that appropriately, most people will see I've got some flat spots. Mm-hmm. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to my financial. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to my spiritual.
Right.
You know, if one lacks here, you're lacking in other areas. And that's why I put such a large role on nutrition, fitness, in the physical side because of how well it impacts every other aspect of our life. So that's the wheel of life.
What's interesting, and I love that. That is just, it's great that you're implementing that. So happy for your employees. Really, it probably means the world to them. But within my business and my studies, we always say, especially males, we are meant to be hunters. And when we cannot, and if you don't find an outlet for that, you're going to have pent up energy. What are you going to do with that energy? It's just going to you're just going to blow up, and whatever direction it's going to go in, it's going to go in. So finding that outlet, having that outlet is huge. If you provide it for your employees, giving them that option, it's great.
Yep.
So I'm just really excited about that. I love what you said about your wife. It seems like every single person that I sit here with, we all have this wonderful woman that helps us with a lot of the things that have made us who we are. I'll be the first person to say it, and it's wonderful having them.
God knew what he was doing when he designed to help me, and we're so much better off because of that partner we have.
Exactly right. So this has been awesome. Just to finish us up real quick, tell me about your workout routine, because you are in phenomenal shape. I saw you in the club the other day working out. What do you like to do? Just what's your favorite thing?
Well, I really like an assortment of things. So from still playing some basketball to some mountain biking to, pickleball's gotten big. We play a lot of tennis. But to be able to come into the gym, the first thing I do is I hit the cardio.
Okay.
15, 20 minutes, try to get my heart rate up, averaging about 125, 130. Mm-hmm. And then, maybe it's a day I'm working on, shoulders and arms. Another day I'm working on legs. And
sure.
I want to do a better job really getting into stretching and really even some yoga, just because I know longevity can come and what can happen.
That's right.
By focusing on those types of things. So I prefer 5 days a week, but it's never really less than 3. Mm-hmm. It's consistent.
I love the balance. This is balanced, and your workout routine is balanced. You included cardio. You included resistance training. It has to be all. It has to be all those areas. Strengthen the heart, strengthen the muscles,
yes.
Keep posture, keep bone strong. We could go round and round and round. And then the flexibility component, as you said.
Right.
We should get together sometime. We could stretch together.
Yeah.
Because
and the nutrition side, as but I think
right.
maybe for everybody who's listening too, as look, you can get a heck of a workout in 45, 50 minutes if you're on purpose. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking 2 hours, it's like just come in, enjoy it, knock it out, and, the results are phenomenal.
And usually if you're doing that, you want to eat better. Oh. So you'll go and you'll cut out all the bad things, because as you enjoy, I'll just throw a tip in. As you start enjoying the exercise, it is your dopamine replacement for the bad food.
That's right.
So all of a sudden, I just got my dopamine hit. I find that I don't want this other dopamine hit. And if I go get that, it almost doesn't taste right anymore.
Right.
So then you gravitate away and you say, "Ooh, yeah, salad. Sounds great."
Yeah.
Lucky part about here, we have a salad place right down the street. So it's it's nice for people.
You can think better best. It's like, do I go stop by Jake's and get a burger on the way back? Or maybe I could do a smoothie. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's smoothie sounds pretty good, and the way you continue to feel about it. So
that's
I agree, 100%.
That's exactly correct. John, I thank you again for your time. I wish you the best with everything over at Ag Resources. We're always here. And to the listeners, thank you guys for tuning in today. I really enjoyed talking to John today, and again, thanks so much for your time. And we'll see you guys next time on the Economic Fitness Channel.
Thank you.